Camilla here. Welcome to another card making video. Today I would like to share with you two different card ideas made using the same technique of blending distressings over the chevron stencil. We will need a standard size white cardstock, and I'll be using a memory box stencil Modern Chic Chevron. I will need some double-sided tape to adhere my piece of cardstock to surface so it doesn't move while I'm blending the ink. The one I'm using here is pretty sticky, so I'm using my fingers to take off a little bit of the glue. And now I'll be using some masking tape to leave only the area of the paper I will be working on. As you can see, I'm removing the white background because I couldn't see where exactly I'm adhering my masking tape. The dark surface of the cutting board is definitely much better for that. And now I finally adhered my masking tape. I will be using 4 colors of distress ink: the picked raspberry, mustard seed, Mont Blanc, and salty ocean. Here, as you can see, my camera decided to go sepia on me, and so it looks a little brownish, but I will correct later on. I am blending on the distress inks in the sequence I previously mentioned: the picked raspberry, the mustard seed, Mont Blanc, and the salty ocean, with of course overlapping the distress inks. They're so good to blend together. I always love using it, as you can also see on my blog how many backgrounds I make for my cards using the distress inks. I just love all these vibrant colors. And this is the mask-off area we'll blend it on ink. I of course decided that it was not thick enough, so I'm gonna add a little more distress ink. At the moment you can see that thin line between the previously blended and the new blended on ink, but it actually will smooth out after the ink is dry. And here is the result of all the blending. Doesn't it just look gorgeous? I love distress inks. Look at that pink and a little orange. And now for the sentiment, I'll be using some vellum cardstock. I'm using my anti-static tool. The embossing powder sticks only to the areas with Versamark. For the sentiment, I'm using Thank You from this Believe Hero Art stamp set, and I'll be using Versamark to stamp on the sentiment. After I will be using gold Wow embossing powder. And now it's time for the magic trick. We'll be heat setting the golden embossing powder with the heating tool. I just love how it turns so shiny. Now we're gonna add the sentiment. It's pretty easy with vellum. You just bend the cardstock underneath the card front and using some double-sided tape to adhere it at the back so it doesn't move after you pop the front of the card to the card base. Now for some foam squares, rather foam tape on the back of the card front, and the card is ready. And here is the ready card with all its beautiful golden embossing and the blended inks. For the embellishment, I'm just gonna add a few sequins in pink to just contrast the blue and green and white around the sentiment. Now, as promised, I have for you another card using the same technique. This time we'll be making a happy birthday card using some black cardstock for the card base. This time also the card will be horizontal and the stripes of blended inks will be at the bottom. We're gonna trim it a little bit. And using the same stamp set, I'll be using the Happy Birthday stamp and VersaFine black ink to stamp it on the card front. I will also heat emboss it using Papermania clear embossing powder. You can always use a thin paintbrush to remove all the excess embossing powder. And there it is, all nice and shiny after being embossed. Now I will assemble the card using the double-sided tape. After all, I decided that the card needs a few additional embellishments, and I went for an idea with little stars. I had some cut out, but I also decided that maybe it needs a few additional colors like green and blue. So I'm blending on Mowed Lawn and Salty Ocean on a piece of scrap cardstock, and I'll be punching it out with my star punchers, previously drying it with my heating tool. after I finally figured out which and where I will adhere my stars, I am using my Tombow Mono Multi-Liquid Glue to adhere them on the surface. After, I'll be using my Wink Stellar glitter pen to add some sparkle, and to finish it all off, I'll be using glossy accents to add even more sparkle to the beautiful stars. And that was all for today. I hope you liked today's chevron craze. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, press like and subscribe for more card making. Take care and see you again soon. Bye!